Aloha everybody, Kaiwaza with you. Welcome back to my channel and our continuing journey through my Hawaiian record collection. We're on the letters U and V. I did them together because they're kind of small. And I think today we're going to finish up the letter V, and then we will draw to see what the next letter that we cover will be. First though, a couple of updates on a couple albums that I have gotten recently that are in letters we have already covered. So let me give you an update and show you what's new to the collection in letters that we've already covered. And the first one is interesting. It's a surf record, surfing instrumental record out of Japan, although the group is, I think, American, called the Clee-Shays. No date on this, but this is the 60s. And it's called Hawaii A Go-Go, and it's it's in surf instrumentals. It's like a surfing band, surf instrumentals of Hawaiian tunes. I don't think ever released in the United States, probably because at the time there wouldn't have been sufficient interest in it. But in Japan, they do love Hawaiian music consistently throughout all time, basically. So, Japanese release on Union Records of Japan. Another surf album recently from Japan by a group called the Spacemen. I don't remember the title of it, but just these two I've gotten recently, and they're the only two I've ever seen. Instrumental surf, total surf out, surf bands doing Hawaiian songs. And this one's cool. I do think the Spaceman one is a lot more interesting arrangements than this one, but not to down this one. This is great, but the Surfman one, if you ever get a chance to get that, is amazing. Another record I got, this one I got while I was recently went on a cruise in French Polynesia, spent several days in Papeete on Tahiti, and I went to a record store there a couple of times, and this is one of the several records I bought there, but I've gotten around to listening to it and recording it, digitizing it. So it is the Orchestra Petiot. I don't really know how you would say that in French. The album is called Tahiti, the latest hits of Tahiti. No date on this, but 70s. I have quite a few records I've gotten over the years, Tahitian records from the 70s, all in these sort of glossy covers, and most of them are quite nice. I enjoy the Tahitian music of that period. Okay, now we go to the letter V. Let's do it. Let's do it. This one is apparently was part of a series, Venice Pan Am Romantic Cities series, Waikiki in a Symphony of Strings. This is the Symphony of Strings Orchestra conducted by James Verity. They conveniently give you a list of things to do and places to see in case you don't know what to do, and you happen to bring this record along with you on your trip, and you can plan your itinerary. Yeah, this is all just pretty typical, easy listening stuff. The song Kilauea is unusual. That's not something you see very often. Okay, now we have a series of records. Maybe I won't talk individually about each one too much, but the orchestra leader here in Hawaii, Jack DeMello, did, as you might know if you've watched the previous video or just know, he did box sets of lots and lots of music and sort of grand symphonic arrangements of Hawaiian tunes from various periods of time. Also, he did a beautiful set on Guam, believe it or not. And highlighted some different artists as well. And one of the artists he highlighted that there's a series of 4 records here by him. Jack DeMello presents Emma Veary. Now, Emma Veary was a Hawaiian lady, operatic trained singer, soprano, and had a career on the mainland. And then after her divorce in the 60s, I think, she moved back to Hawaii and performed here. Had a show here at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel, and had a good career here. In fact, from time to time, she actually still does perform. But there's a series of 4 records here, all with the Jack DeMello sort of symphonic orchestra with Emma Veary. The first of which is Jack DeMello presents Emma. These are all on his label, the Music of Polynesia label. Second one here, Volume 2, is Jack DeMello presents Emma here in this enchanted place. These are all, I should mention, part of what's called Hawaii's Golden Heritage Series.
Just a fanciful dream, one wish and that it holds you.
Here's Volume 3, Jack DeMello presents Emma. This is Hawaii. Then the last one, Volume 4, this one is just slightly different in that it's not a full symphonic orchestra, but this one was mostly Hapahali songs. Well, it's all Hapahali songs done with a smaller combo in Emma Veary. It's called Jack DeMello presents Emma, Moments of Hawaiian Musical Heritage. You'll notice the big 3, which comes from Django's Music in Portland, Oregon, their 3 for $1 section. I have quite a few of those when I lived there.
It's just an old Hawaiian custom. When I say aloha to you.
The last one I have from her, not in that series, it's still, this is from 1976. These are recordings from her show at the Monarch Room at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. Emma Veary at the Royal. The Royal showroom at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel was is quite a grand, beautiful showroom, by the way.
Nothing more than a feeling.
This one's on Lehua Records, different label there. Alright, that's it for Emma Veary. Moving on, this is not really a Hawaiian record, but I have it in the collection because it has a song that is iconic, totally iconic. This is Voyage. This is a French group. The album's from 1978. The reason that I have this in the collection, there's a song on here called Tahiti, Tahiti, which is a Tahitian song that they sort of, whatever you want to call it, remixed, discoized, or whatever, that very huge hit and was very popular here and was played at the discos and the bars, and definitely part of my memories, my personal memories of being here in Hawaii was when they would play Tahiti, Tahiti and everybody runs to the dance floor. Now, I just have 2 records in South Pacific and Exotica under these letters, so let's go. This is Rudi van Dalm and his Raindrops. This is an Indonesian gentleman recording in who moved to the Netherlands. I guess they call this Indo-pop or Indo-rock or something. I was just reading today, they call it something like that. I always kind of throw a lot of these records in with my sort of whatever, easy listening South Pacific Hawaiian music because it's just kind of Hawaiian-esque in its theme. I don't know. I like a lot of that kind of music. It's sort of a, to me, it's sort of ABBA-esque. I consider it my ABBA type. Then finally, the only thing I have in Exotica is a very interesting record. It's a budget label, Viking Records, not Viking Records of New Zealand, but Viking Records of the United States. It was total budget label. And this album is called, it's very strange. It's called, I love that I have this record. It's so weird. Theme from Mondo Kane and Other Horror Music by Ugella and the Viking Pops Orchestra with a sort of very weird cover on it. Now you're like, what is this? If you've never seen Mondo Kane, it was an interesting film about all kinds of weird, sort of a documentary. How much of it was real, I don't know. And the song More, which was the theme, was very popular. And then this album, actually, there is no Ugella in the Viking Pops Orchestra. They took an instrumental version of the theme from the film, standard with an orchestra, and then the rest of the tracks are all these weird drumming and moaning and groaning and yelling and jungly things with lots and lots of bongos. And what it actually is the orchestral theme from Mondo Kane with this record, also budget, which is Chaino. You may have heard of Chaino doing percussion. So it's Chaino and percussion, which is really cool stuff. But it's basically this record is this record. And they just changed the name of the artist. And they changed the name of the tracks. And the tracks on here are crazy. Well, I'll show you. But just like Theme of the Torture Chamber, Sacrifice of the Virgin. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know, I just love that this record exists. It's just so weird. Okay. And it's this record. If you ever come across it, same thing. That's it. That covers the letters U and V. And now we only have 2 letters left. And then I'll do a budget label series. So, we're going to draw for the next letter, which is always from the book that I'm reading. I'm reading this book now called Incredible Collectors, Weird Antiques and Odd Hobbies. Loving it. And I just have P, the letter P and the letter J, so we'll see which one we come to first. Nothing there. Okay. P. Perisphere. The letter P. Okay. Next video, we start on the letter P. Letter P is quite large. That's a big one, so that'll take a while. Next video, letter P. We'll catch you later.